Um, I really have one more person to ask you about, and then I just want to get to the super chat because somebody actually spent money to ask you a question, so I definitely want to get to that. So I want to talk to you about Eason because I seen somebody just randomly talk to him, ask about him in our chat one day after a show. So I was like, all right, I guess everybody wants to talk about Eason, so let's go. Let's talk about Eason. What do you think about Eason?
Man, Eason's a tough one to pin down in this draft because as a player and as a prospect, I actually really like him. I'm a lot higher on him than a lot of the other guys that no ceilings are. I mean, it's hard to argue with his production this year. He was just unbelievably productive, and he did it off the bench in like 22, 23 minutes a game or something. And you look at his stats, and it's like a full-on stat line from somebody who played a full like 32 minutes. Steal and block monster. Like his steal percentage, his block percentage this year, I think. I don't remember the two other names, but it's only been done by two other players. I think Tybal was one of the guys, and then there was one other guy. Like, but his steal percentage and block percentage, that combination is like only been done by two other guys. He's got the same hand size as Kawhi, so he's just got some oven mitts on him. He can handle the ball. His shot at a decent percentage this year. Got to the line a lot. Hit 80% of them. It's a little unorthodox a shot. It's a little like push shotty. Maybe a little bit of Ben Gordon with worse footwork, but it goes in. And, right now he's not necessarily the guy who's going to shoot a ton of them like Paul George off the bounce, but off the catch, when he's got space, he's comfortable knocking them down, puts a ton of pressure on the rim, both in the half court and in transition. So just looking at a production standpoint, it's all there for him. Now, he doesn't like to finish with his left hand, and that is something he has to absolutely work on because you just will not find highlights of him using his left hand. But what I've heard is behind the scenes, and it could be smoke, could be whatever. I've heard that like his pre-draft process has not gone great behind the scenes. I've heard that like his floor is Philadelphia, which is they're picking 23rd. So this is a guy who it would not shock me based on the fact that he offers a lot of the things you want in a modern NBA wing. Yeah. It would not shock me if he did actually go in the lottery, but based on some of the stuff that I'm hearing, it also wouldn't shock me if he fell into the 20s. And so it's hard to pin down with him, but I'm high on him. I like him. I think that he's a guy that if the Knicks took him at 11, for me, that's not a reach. It's not a reach for me, but for other people, it might be. There's a split between him, and especially where it's like a Sohan versus Eason click. He's a little bit older. He's like 21 right now versus Sohan, who's 18. You know what I mean? So like he's more productive than Sohan, but he's also got those 3 extra years of development.
Right.
So I like him personally, but I know there are people who are a little iffier on him. And I think they're justified in feeling that way because they're not without concerns.
Yeah, his defense looks tremendous. Like I can see Tibbs drooling over him just looking at his tapes defensively and how much he competes and gets the steals and the blocks and the length. Like I can see him drooling. And then you look at the other side of the ball. If he's not dunking the ball, you're like, all right, what's happening here? It looks like a baby deer trying to walk with a basketball. Like I don't know, like what to think of him.
But still, like even with that, but think of it, like he doesn't always know what he's doing. His decision making could use improvement sometimes, but his numbers are still really impressive.
Yeah,
for a guy who may not necessarily know what he's doing. I mean, played 24 minutes a game. He had 17 points, averaging 17 points a game. Shot 52% from the floor, 36% for three.
Yeah.
6.6 rebounds a game, almost 2 steals and a block in 24 minutes. That's big time production off the bench.
Off the bench and without any real offensive game except banging it on people's heads. Which is just, I get it. He's polarizing to me in my head. What do you think about these guys? This guy Raw.
Oh man, I love Tari Eason. The hands, the physical tools, but the thing is, he's one of them cats like this. You ever play in the summer in the court, right? and you in one of them games where you got a million dudes waiting for next, and you in point, then point up, then point up, right? And so Tari's the guy you want to have that ball when it's point, and you want it to end. He's the street baller in the NC2A uniform. I mean, he's a dog, man. I mean, I don't know about what's going on. I've heard what Corey was talking about, that there was some issues with his interviews or some issues with his workouts, but he's just a dog. And I'm saying I can understand if he slips, because I don't know what's going on behind the scenes. But if you could get this kid's head on straight, somebody's getting a stud, man, because this kid could play. He's just one of them guys that could play. And I'm not looking at him. When I first looked at him, he's like the first guy I looked at like in December that I really liked from college. I liked him and Mathurin. But when I first looked at him, I was looking at him as a 4. But when I looked more at him, he really can play the 3 or the 4. He can guard all the front court positions plus the 2. So, I mean, like I said, I don't know what's going on behind the scenes, if he's got an attitude or whatever his situation is. But as far as talent, this kid's a dog, man. There's some guys that are just like, for example, we talked about Malachi Brandon, right? He's a really good basketball player. But then there are dudes that are dogs. Like, you know, he's going to turn out MSG, man. That's what I'm saying. That's what I like about Tari Eason. He will come in there and do the Latrell Sprewell. That's what I'm saying. If he's got the right attitude now, I don't know about that. But if he does, I don't know, man. I think he's a steal. I love this kid. I got him ranked right below Sohan for the same reasons Corey was talking about. I got Sohan, then Eason. And man, I'm not going to be upset. And if we could trade down and get this kid, suppose we trade down and get Eason and Dalen Terry. I like that.
Everybody's happy at that point.
I'm happy. I like that trade.
All right. Eason is looking good. A lot of interesting processes here. Anything to add to that, Ryan, before I get into the super chat question?
Yeah, basically, Corey and Raw pretty much said it all right there. That's the first thing that popped up to me, the defense. Defensively, he's a beast. And, those guys like that are always welcome in Thibs' schemes. Thibs' roster, defensive guys. So, Eason, defensive beast. And, again, another player. There's a lot of players in this draft where it's like, for me, if the Knicks draft them, I'm just like, it is what it is, because there's a lot of solid players in in this draft. So, but Eason, yeah, definitely defensively, that's where, my money is on him. Like, I definitely like him defensively. That's where it is. And of course, the production, you can't deny the production. 17 points in 20-something minutes per game. Like, that's crazy, especially at the college level. So, you have to, you also have to take that into account as well. But, it's just a matter of, where he drops in the draft. Because Corey and Ross said, he has a lot of sounds like there's a lot of issues going on with his draft, the drafting process and what's the rumors going around. So it'll be interesting to see where he drops. But yeah, defensively, I like him.
Okay. All right, man. That's Tari Eason. I wouldn't be mad at him either. I definitely wouldn't be mad at him either. Got a lot of good prospects. Let's get to Boston's next question. He sent it out to a chat.